Yesterday, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, was threatened by Donald Trump's border czar, who's really just a lackey, has no business being in that job, with an arrest. He said that if he or the mayor of Los Angeles were to get in the way of ICE raids, then he would arrest them. Well, the border czar is now backing off of that after Gavin Newsom said this.
Tom Homan, the border czar, said to me yesterday he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his words. He said you hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Let your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Let your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
Bro, I saw that before. I'm seeing it again, and it's still so good. If Tom Homan were to go through with this, and I'll show you just a bit that Donald Trump is asking him to do it, I think it would make Gavin Newsom a frontrunner for the 2028 presidential nomination. And it could make him president if he were to get arrested for defending his state. It's an insane thing to do. Politically speaking, it's also just, frankly, illegal. But this is the energy we need to put forward. Because why? Because Taco, Trump always chickens out. And we're seeing that doesn't just pertain to Trump, that also pertains to his border czar, because after Gavin Newsom said this, his border czar backed down quickly.
So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go. That was the governor of California talking to you.
Well, look, I'm not biting on that. The NBC reporter that interviewed me very dishonest. We did a 20-minute interview, and he cuts out a little clip that makes me and takes my words out of context. Here's what we said. And he talked about when I talked about these people that are these protests and rioting, when they cross the line, they got that. Well, here's why I said they have a right to protest. They have the First Amendment rights, but they can't cross that line. They can't cross that line of impediment. They can't cross that line of putting their hands on officers. They can't cross the line of knowing, concealing, and illegal alien, because they're all federal crimes. They're in statute, and they will be prosecuted. When he asked the questions that include Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom, I was clear. They haven't crossed the line. But they're not above the law either. If they commit a crime, they certainly will ask for prosecution. That's what was happening. I never threatened to arrest Governor Newsom, so I'm not biting off on that. It's just that reporter is dishonest, and let him play the whole 20-minute interview, and you'll see a whole different discussion that we had.
All right, NBC News, of course, stands by the reporting. Border czar Tom Homan. Mr. Homan, we appreciate you joining us this morning. We'll talk to you again.
It's really interesting that Tom Homan doesn't think we can't just look at the interview, that he says his words are being put into his mouth. That's not true. Tom Homan said that they would arrest the governor or the mayor if they try to get in the way of what ICE was doing. You judge for yourself.
Governor Newsom, are they at risk of being arrested?
I'll say it about anybody. You cross that line. It's a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien. It's a felony to impede law enforcement from doing their job.
Do you think that the mayor of LA is doing that?
If she crossed that line, we'll ask the DOJ to prosecute. Do I think she's crossed the line? I don't think she's crossed the line yet. But I'm telling you, the warning we're sending is we're not going to tolerate people attacking our officers.
Regardless, just goes to show that they will back down when they are met with the slightest bit of resistance, because it is an insane thing to want to arrest the governor for protecting his state when they have not done anything wrong. And again, I stand with Governor Newsom. Go ahead, arrest him, see what happens. It's like Star Wars. Strike him down, he'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And Donald Trump hasn't been getting the message, because Donald Trump moments ago, let's just slow it down for a second. This is insane that the president of the United States is saying to arrest a governor. This is insane. It is not normal. It is not normal. It is fascist. It is fascist. Here it is.
Gavin Newsom he's daring Tom Homan to come and arrest him. Should he do it? I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes to He's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent.
So he's grossly incompetent. I don't think that is actually a crime if he were. I don't think he is. But even if he were, that's not a crime. You can't arrest someone for being grossly incompetent. What laws did he break? Real quick, if you can hit like on this video, it makes such a big difference. It helps boost this into the algorithm and more people can see this really important message. Thank you so much. And then Trump actually said moments ago, when asked what crime the governor has committed, because he hasn't committed a crime, here's what Donald Trump said.
A crime has he committed? I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is like what Biden did to this country. And that's pretty bad. It's a wrong philosophy. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, many of them prisoners. They're taking up your health care. They're taking up your space in schools. They're taking up your hospital. And in many cases, they're criminal.
And by the way, but this might be besides the point. Doesn't he seem low energy? Like maybe he just didn't take his Adderall that afternoon, but he just feels very, very slow.
And we have to do something about it, and we're doing something about it. I want to thank the incredible patriots of ICE and Tom Homan, who has been incredible, and Kristi Noem, likewise incredible. The job they're doing, and it's like a
Okay, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to hear the rest of that. The governor of California is not breaking the law because he is the governor. I can't believe this is reality. I cannot believe this is reality. Chris Murphy had a good point about this, and that is that this is all a distraction. This is all a distraction. What happened was that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump got linked together by Elon Musk. Donald Trump's signature bill is probably one of the most unpopular bills to ever make its way through the House and to the Senate. And he is trying to do everything he can to talk about the things he wants to talk about, which is immigration. He wants to sow chaos. He wants images of people being violent in the streets. He's gotten it. The narrative has switched, but Chris Murphy very smartly said this.
It can also be true that everything that's happened in the last 7 days between the fight with Elon Musk and now the deployment of the National Guard is probably also a distraction from the main story, which is that right now Donald Trump is trying to pass probably the most unpopular piece of legislation that he will attempt to move through Congress in his first term. He's going to throw 15 million people off their health care in order to fund a massive tax cut for the wealthy. It's going to add $2 trillion to our deficit. We're probably going to head into a recession. And so I do also think he's probably doing everything he can to try to get the entire political world to be talking about anything other than a piece of legislation that's going to fundamentally change this country. So, yeah, we have to point out the danger of what he's proposing to do in Los Angeles while also keeping our eye on the ball, which is a bill that's going to transform our economy and ruin a lot of lives.
Such a good point. We have to be focused on not just the insanity Donald Trump is causing, but we need to look at the things he's not wanting us to pay attention to. This bill, Jeffrey Epstein, we're going to focus on that. Chris Murphy is so smart. I hope Chris Murphy takes a consideration of rising up in the ranks in the Democratic Party because he is a smart thinker and he also is a good communicator. And this job is more often than not about communicating and getting a message out. And Chris Murphy is smart and he seems to understand the stakes and he also seems to understand how to play the game as it's being made right now. And I just want to end with this because Tom Homan kind of gave the game away when he was asked by MSNBC. I'm sure he's going to say this is out of context, but he was asked, does everyone who's been arrested by ICE agents have a criminal record? And Tom very flatly said, absolutely not. In fact, I'm going to save you from watching that video. We need to watch it. I just said it. I can't stand listening to that man speak. He is evil, demented, and unfit for the job he holds. So let's not listen to him. But they said they were going to go after criminals and rapists and gay members. They can't find enough to get their quota up. So now they're just going after hardworking people who are just here to give themselves and make a better life. It's disgusting. But let's take a page out of Gavin Newsom's book. and everyone else who stood up to Trump, because when you stand up to Trump, they back down. So let's keep standing up. June 14th, there is a huge protest. Donald Trump has a stupid birthday party on the streets here in DC with tanks. We're going to be protesting. So I'll see you on the streets on June 14th, taking Gavin Newsom's lead and standing up for what is right, because we know that makes Donald Trump back down. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like in the video. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.